And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the dog here from his couch or Aaron the puppy. Sorry, Aaron the puppy here. This is an Apex card, so you get Apex puppy here. But Aaron the puppy here with another full card betting breakdown and prediction show here with just my 2 cents. We're back at the Apex, so the puppy is back. It is Brendan Allen and Chris Curtis too, the sequel that we all knew and we've all been waiting for. But honestly, it's a pretty fun card or fun fight, I should say. It's I don't know if it's a fight I'm going to be too interested in betting on, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to the full card here. Also, I believe it's 14 fights, but we'll figure it out. With me right now, just my 2 cents. We might be joined by another guest. We might not be, but it's all good. Just my 2 cents. How you doing?
Dude, I am very well. Thank you as always for having me. And dude, yes, it's another Apex card, so I'm just beaming with excitement and enthusiasm. And yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before the stream started. I don't feel any like worse about this card than the last few. Like I feel like it's on par with the last couple. So yeah, giddy up. Let's fucking go. Try and make some money on this one and have a good time.
Yeah, it's about being what the UFC is not being right now, which is selective. So don't have to bet on every fight. Always a good reminder to really everybody.
Well
And
spoken.
yeah, but we're back in the Apex here, and looking forward to it. People starting to come into the building. I know we started a few minutes late, but thank you. We got 13 fights, not 14. My mistake. Great. Headlined by Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis. Number dose there, so should be a good one. Starting at 135 here, Melissa, now Tanya Mullins. She was Melissa Dixon for all of her career. Take you on Nora Cornoli. Nora Cornholio, whatever you want to call her. Nora had, believe it or not, an unimpressive fight with Jocelyn Edwards. Somebody had to win the fight. Apparently, Nora won 30-27. Could have given all 3 rounds to Jocelyn Edwards. Either way, Nora getting over here later in her career. She's got a bigger frame. I think like a thicker frame between these two opponents. These two, both of them in their 30s. 34 for Nora, 32 for Melissa out of England. So, I mean, I don't know. Like Melissa looked much more impressive in the debut against Russian Ronda. And what up, Justin? Good to see you. But like also Russia Ronda is kind of trash, but I do think Melissa has just a better overall game. Nora I could kind of just see her using some cage control and using her physicality. I think she's the stronger of the two opponents, but I think she also wear down, has less cardio. So want nothing to do with this fight. Melissa by decision.
So make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron and subscribe to his channel if you haven't. But I thought that this was going to be a fight where I went to the coin because it has a lot.
Doesn't even deserve the coin.
It has a lot of the. It does have a lot of the criteria. It does fit a lot of the criteria that the coin requires. Chick fight, low level. Couldn't decide when I looked at it, but I'll tell you what. I did a little bit of tape study on this one. I had to kind of, I remembered sort of the Jocelyn Edwards fight, so I had to go back and rewatch that one. I had to rewatch the Melissa Mullins and Irina fight, which was so awesome. But yeah, I'll tell you what, after more tape study, I'm on the Nora Cornoli side, man. I am going with Cornholio, TP for my bunghole. So, yeah, dude, I bet Nora, she is going to be, I'm going so fucking light on this card. It's not even funny. Even for a little piker like me, it's just, I'm going very light. But Cornhole will be my heaviest underdog. I just think that it's closer to a pick'em. I think she's the better striker. I think she's the more dangerous striker, and I think she's a little bit meaner on the feet. I worry about her getting controlled because Mullins has a good top game, and I think she's probably the better grappler overall. Like if she's the one that is implementing her ground game. But I'll tell you what, during the fight tape, I noticed that Cornole has this like ability to get out of bad grappling positions. Like she'll be in a bad spot. She even did it against Edwards, where it's like all of a sudden she just like takes the back. She like slips out the back door and takes the back, or she reverses, or she just gets back to her feet. And then I've seen her do that in fights and then get the finish. So yeah, at plus 270, nah, that's wide to me. It's low level. So yeah, give me the underdog that I don't think should be that much of an underdog. I'm with Nora.
I like it. These are some spots where I think a lot of people just kind of make the assumptions, move on. So props to you, Lou.
Shalom to my boys. How are you guys?
Howdy.
Great to see you.
Before I give my opinion on this, I need to ask just my 2 cents. How did the coin do last week? Like 2-1?
Well, it did. I think I only used it. I can't remember. Did I use it the third time?
Like it wasn't bad, right?
It hit with Verna, but the Turkali fight, I realized it cannot be used on dude fights. So that I'm kind of throwing that out the window. But yeah, I think it did. Verna hit. I coin flipped Verna, and it told me her. So
that was a hilariously weird, fun fight.
Right.
I didn't hear what you picked for this fight, Aaron. I heard.
I honestly went pretty square. I just went Melissa by decision.
So I am gonna make you weirdly the minority here. I am with 2 cents on the Cornole side. All I'll add is that Dixon's been dropped like a couple of times. I know she's never been finished and she's undefeated, but like, this line is predicated on her immediately going for takedowns and Cornole not getting up. And like, I don't think Cornole has a really good get up game. Getting up against Jocelyn Edwards is a different story than getting up against Melissa, not Dixon, whatever her name is now. But man, every second this fight's on the feet, this is a levels game, man. Like Cornole's got really good Thai boxing, man. She hits hard. Like, and Dixon's been dropped by way worse people. I think Cornole finishes live here. So yeah, I think the line's too wide. It's just, honestly, it's just predicated on, okay, Mullins will get a takedown and like, that's the end of the round. And I just kind of don't think that. I think Cornole is going to win a lot of minutes on the feet. And I think if anybody's going to do damage, it's probably Cornole. So
okay.
I agree. Yeah, she does have the striking background between the two. And also, I like betting on this first one and being quote unquote the heaviest on the early one, because that way I don't have to sweat through the whole card and wonder like, is this going to make or break me? Like, I know right off the bat, I'm either good or I'm fucked. So, and then I can just make my peace with it. So let's fucking go, Cornholio. Are you threatening me?
She almost got me the loose cornhole zucchini parlay. That's all I can say.
Oh, zucchini. We'll talk about zucchini.
Yeah, we'll talk about Charrier later, but you know.
Yeah. Oh boy, that Charrier fight. I can't wait to talk about that fight with you guys. Well, I was not expecting to have to think about betting Cornolio before this fight card, but honestly, pretty compelling arguments, especially at plus 280. Definitely fits into my category of low level MMA over plus 200. Bet the dog, and you will be profitable. This is plus 280, so probably gonna get a bet for me after the show now. So thank you very much, everybody. And I get the big boys to show up when I tag the desk in it. Chronic Combat Conversation. Oh my God, how many shows is Lou doing tonight? This dirty dog.
You know, they just didn't understand my sense of humor because I was in there, but then there was this other guy who had this great screen name. His name was Phil Jizz Tits Horncamp. And he was writing all sorts of crazy stuff. And I was like, hey, buddy.
Oh, Jizz Horncamp, the guy who got me a bunch of money earlier today?
Oh, my God. He is an unkillable monster, this Jizz Horncamp.
You wouldn't think with a handle like that he'd be a potty mouth, but
if Jizz Horncamp scored, I'm telling you Sunday.
Jizz Horncamp, legend.
But if he scored, load the truck up on Phil Tits on Sunday. Load it up on Phil Tits on Augsburg.
Yeah, but all right, we've spent 10 minutes too much on this fight, if I'm being honest.
It's a good fight. It's not a horrible fight.
All right. It's all right. We'll see. Yeah, like it's combined 67 years old here. Let's go. Next fight, though. Let's go. Definitely one of the MMA Twitter fights of the week, for sure. Whichever side I feel like you're on with this fight, you seem to be very, very confident in your side, and I'm no exception. first and foremost, I always make it very clear when I have been following a fighter for a long time and I feel that they have a high potential. Dylan Budka, Mindless Hawk, been following him throughout his career. You know your boy's an LFA guy. Eventually, I'm going to get back to LFA breakdowns when I fully can put my time into the card. If I put out a video, it means I put in the time. Otherwise, I won't. But Budka, he's been one of my favorites for a while. I do think that he has the type of game that you can't just judge it off the last fight. I know it was like one of the worst Contender Series fights, but it's also there's a reason he got the contract, I do believe. I think that Cesar Almeida did not show me tremendous wrestling in the Contender Series at all. I think that Fernando just completely gassed himself on the wrestling when he has a pretty good stand-up and usually is more of a stand-up guy and just didn't have a game to go 15 minutes with his wrestling. While I don't like counting on a wrestler to go 15 minutes to get it, I do think that Budka by decision is the way I'm going with this fight. I think he's just could get a ground and pound finish, though, as the fight goes on, maybe a second or third round type of finish. He just has really strong chain wrestling and also very good cardio. And while his nickname is Mindless Hawk, I think his IQ is higher rated than it should be. The guy he lost to in the LFA is going to be in the UFC very soon as well. Very good guy. And Cesar coming off an injury, I believe like an ankle injury as well. He beat Alex Pereira 11 years ago, which is cool. Yeah, this is a matchup fight. If it's on the feet, Cesar can look minus 400. If Dylan gets the wrestling going, he's going to look minus 400. Dylan training with good guys as well. I just think this is a matchup game. And for me, I favor Budka pretty massively. So I like him at I got him at minus 130, minus 155. He's at right now. I also bet him in a parlay at minus 170 the other day. So I'm fine with anything in that range for him. I think that he wins this fight handily. Lou.
So my scribe has been on the echo chamber of Twitter. Not me, but my scribe has.
Of course.
This line movement's hilarious because, like a lot of money came in on Budka at the underdog price. And now all I'm seeing is people firing on the Almeida side, or saying they are anyway. You never know if they really are. But they're on the Almeida side saying that. And this is weird because this is almost like this is the strangest reverse recency bias on a win ever, where Budka gets a win and people they're like, yeah, I just wasn't impressed. And now he's going to get beaten up by a guy that got taken down. And it's like, it's really strange because Budka took that fight on was it less than a week notice?
Yes, it was like 5 days notice.
Or not even less than a week notice. He fought the week before.
Yep. Yeah, and then he got the fight the week of. He's also 24 years old. He's
all things considered, and you and I knew that going in. We were talking Contender Series every week, and I think you liked him a lot in that fight too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I did.
But it was well, what the fuck did people expect? He's literally gassed from last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I think it was a 15-minute fight the week before. I have it up. I don't know why I'm asking you. No, he had it. No, it was a finish. I'm sorry. But still, it's still full camp and it was a different weight class, I believe. But it was a lot of okay, this is a really weird spot.
Noah.
That I think that people almost are looking at the Contender Series fight in a vacuum and being he wasn't that impressive.
Yep. And then being they're he's not that impressive. And 2 fights before that, he lost to this guy, not looking into the guy he lost to. And even the guy Gladfelder he lost to in his debut, was a high level guy to take in his debut. This guy's trying to test himself quickly. I just think he's going to improve fight to fight still.
I'll just leave it at Almeida's getting in the game really late. Yes, I know he's decorated at kickboxing. I get it. Yes, we're seeing Alex Pereira. There are guys that can come in the game late and kickbox. I just think this is kind of Pereira got set up against guys who would never grapple him, and Almeida's literally immediately getting set up against guys all I'm going to do is try to grapple you. I think Budka probably has better cardio.
Mm-hmm.
If he can walk through one shot and get a takedown in the first round, I think they come easier and easier. Seems like his cardio is good. Small cage is going to help him. A lot of things in his favor. I have no reason to bet yet. I'm going to wait and see if people just keep betting Almeida. I'll look for a good price on Budka. yeah, I think Budka decision, probably pretty safe here. Budka to win is safe. Decision is just feels like that's kind of how this is going to go.
And then Zach going scoring damage now. So yeah, it could be a situation where Almeida lands 5 significant strikes in the round and Budka has 4 minutes of control time and they give it to Almeida. I don't disagree with that either. So again, I'm a big, Budka guy. I'm a big Budka believer, but 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one?
I'm not gonna think too hard about this one. I haven't throughout the week. It's been one of my least like taped or like thought about fights on this card. I'm just gonna say mindless Hulk, just Hulk smashes, like Red Hulk, Gray Hulk, Green Hulk, World Breaker Hulk. He just unleashes the gamma ray fury. I do worry about him getting clipped. Like Almeida is clearly the better striker. So it is striker versus grappler. But yeah, the younger fighter, probably improving. Like Almeida pretty much is what it is. It might be enough to beat Budka, but I don't know, man. Give me the mindless Hulk decision or GMP TKO.
Just trust me. Just my 2 cents is just trust me tonight. Just trust me on this one. I'm telling you, Budka is the
man, bro.
And go ahead and do the round 3 decision split play if you can make that play, because it will be fun. So, anyways, 155 currently for Budka. I'd say if you can get him around minus 130, jump on it. I don't see the price getting better than that. But either way, I think this is a good fight. Noah thinks it's a gross fight, but it's all good. All right, on to fight number 3. This is another, interesting fight. Obvious clash of styles anytime it's with Dan Argueta. You know that, or Argueta, whatever his name is, taking on Juan Matsumoto. Wrestler versus striker with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and Juan Matsumoto. It is kind of that simple for me. And I'll go kind of more into depth with Juan Matsumoto here in a second. But with Argueta, last 2, no contest. Basically, I do kind of count it as a win against Ronnie Lawrence. The sombrero has returned. Hola. And then his next fight against Miles. Obviously, Miles Johns had failed the drug test. I believe it was for Adderall. So, but I also think it looks like Miles Johns, judging from his last fight, might be on some other supplements. But either way, had Johns in some bad positions at points in the fight, but Johns was just kind of beat him up on the feet. That's how Juan Matsumoto would win this fight, honestly, and pretty obviously. But I think Argueta is going to be just way too strong and over-relenting. This being the debut for the 24-year-old. He's faced some decent guys, but the guy he faced in the Contender Series, Casey Tanner, not really an active fighter, not someone who I was super impressed with anyways. In the LFA, he's had times where he's allowed his opponents to crowd him, use their, kind of take up the cage. This being in the Apex and the smaller cage, that's a huge factor for Argueta, who's been just facing a better level of competition. I got him at a dog price. I've seen money coming in him. He's at plus 135 as of now. But I like Argueta as the dog here. He's going to wrestle. That's how he beats everybody. That's how he's going to win here. Has some kind of, has some good submission skills as well. And I get Matsumoto's a black belt, but I think overall he's kind of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who looks to stay on the feet for the most part. So I don't really know how skilled he is if he's put onto his back. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one?
Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain of scars that won't heal? Yeah, Argueta is the pick. Another one where I didn't have the sack to bet it. I'm not like super duper convinced. Kind of like the last one, I could see him getting the control and the grappling and maybe Juan Matsumoto doing the damage. But based on the experience, I really don't get the line. I feel like Argueta should be the favorite. And Matsumoto, the debutante, who hasn't, like, he's, again, like you said, it's not a terrible level of competition, but it's still not the level of Argetta, who's already had like 3 or 4 UFC fights now. So yeah, give me the dude with the grappling upside and the experience. It's not like he's horrible on the feet. I just think, the smart thing to do is probably get this to the ground and kind of Hulk smash. But, if he doesn't do a ton of damage, it's going to get greasy. But yeah, I think Argetta as the dog is probably a nice bet. So I'm going to pick Daniel here, but not super duper convicted about it.
Fair enough. Lou.
So Dan Argetta's base, according to Tapology, is Mexican judo. That's why I did the sombrero for that.
Gotcha. Thank you. I was
like judo don't got a gun. I don't know what Mexican judo really is. That's like an old time joke. This old from the dustbins, I pulled that one out.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's make it 3 for 3 here. Although I gotta say, I don't love the line as it's creeping in toward Argetta. I think he's a really public dog this week.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have success getting takedowns, then I think it looks pretty ugly on the feet. He's pretty tough, though. It's pretty durable. It could be Matsumoto just piecing him up for 15 minutes. I don't like betting contender series guys that are favorites debuting against a guy with a grappling base. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and he's down to plus 135. I got him at plus 155. So not looking to bet at this. If you haven't bet by this point for Dan's side, I think you should just.
There is a female wrestler in Japan that's a legend named Dump Matsumoto.
Dump, D-U-M-P?
Yes. and she is way bigger than either one of these two and would probably just absolutely fucking demolish them. Look it up. Look it up, guys. Dump Matsumoto. It's safe for work. It's like literally a Japanese wrestler. She's like a legend over there.
Oh. All right. Right on. Thank you for that, Lou. Yeah.
Just sit on them, sidewalk smash them.
Before I go on any further, I'll ask both of you, and the chat can also contribute. For the Zhongli tonight, do we want to go safe or do we want to get dicey with the Zhongli? And there's one version of the Zhongli I have that's like a plus 930. The other version of the Zhongli is plus 2100. So one pays more. How are we feeling on the Zhongli? Just go ahead and contribute, and we'll figure it out as we go. This next fight, Cynthia Calvillo versus Piera Rodriguez. Yeah, I don't know. This seems like a coin fight if I've ever seen a coin fight, because this fight's going to be real close between these two. Cynthia Calvillo's lost her last like 700 fights. She's quitting some of them, had lost some split decisions and some other fighters who are decent. With Rodriguez, got her grappling exposed for sure. Her wrestling has been an issue in a few of her fights now. Tapped to Jillian and then said she didn't. Calvillo has decent jiu-jitsu as well. And Calvillo has had fights before where she's landed over 100 significant strikes, so she stays decently busy. I don't know. Feels like a coin fight for sure. But I'll go with Calvillo by decision. I think she's going to finally eke out a decision here and stay with the company. I'm not super sold on Rodriguez. I'll just be honest. Lou?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never betting this. So I've seen a lot of Calvillo love, and I get like in a vacuum, she's more skilled. Yeah, she's just a quitter, and I don't know. She's not going to fight for your money. Piera Rodriguez, like, okay, did she fatigue in the third against Hebas? Like, yeah, but like, it's a way better opponent. It's a way higher pace, and Piera Rodriguez looked good in that fight. I don't think she's a bum. I know she doesn't have like
Hebas. What are you talking about?
Not Hebas. Who did she gas against?
Jillian?
Who the fuck am I thinking of then?
I don't know who you're thinking of, but she beat Sam Hughes.
Okay, losing
she lost to Jillian and tapped and said she didn't tap.
Okay, losing to Jillian Robertson is really like not. There's no shame in that.
No, of course not.
I know that's your home girl.
No, yeah.
But Calvillo, like, again, if this is like a video game where like there's no narratives around her, is probably can get this fight to the ground. but I just question her will to like want to fight. I don't know that she's gonna. If Pierre Rodriguez comes out hot, I don't know if Calvillo is gonna really want to be in there 15 minutes. So this is a pass for me. I'm gonna take Pierre Rodriguez just to kind of win the first 2 rounds, and then it's too late for Calvillo to really do anything.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not putting $1 on this one at all. 2 cents. Get that coin out.
Well, it's been alluded to. It's been mentioned. It's been hinted at, boys. But whether I hate to say it or not, this fight does check all the criteria, all the boxes, dude.
Absolutely.
Chick fight, mid to low level, and most importantly, I don't give a good god damn what happens. So
do it.
The coin will speak, boys. Say heads is Calvillo and coins is Pierre Rodriguez. Here we go. The coin will speak. And it is Cynthia Calvillo.
Let's go.
That's the pick.
Let's go.
That is the pick.
Cynthia Coinvio. So this coin likes the dogs. This coin likes some dogs. Plus 114. So another public dog here on the card. Rodriguez minus down to minus 135. So get it now. Rodriguez training with Tabitha Ricci, but still, I mean, I don't like how she quit and then kind of disappeared from the scene. Next fight, short notice, Brazilians fighting each other. I don't believe there's a line yet. I don't really know what to expect out of this fight. Victor Hugo's a wild man. I don't know if he can make 135, but if he makes it, he's going to throw a bunch of wild strikes, probably roll for a knee bar at some point. Pedro Facao is Brazilian and trains on Nova Union. I'm going to assume he knows how to handle knee bars, but it's kind of the rest of the game. And being off after his Contender Series loss for so long and then coming back and having one fight, did look good in that fight. This could just kind of be a war for however long it goes, but short notice and everything I don't like. Victor Hugo, if he makes weight, we don't know what he's really going to look like, but I'll take Hugo, but I don't know, man. I hope this is just a fun fight. Like, this isn't a fight I put a lot of looked into. I looked into Pedro's last couple fights, and with Victor Hugo, I don't know what to expect out of him, but he looks fun, so I'll go ahead and take Hugo. But 2 cents. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, give me Hugo. Another one I just don't care about. The late notice replacement just weirds me out. I think that Hugo probably would have lost the original matchup, but I will pick him here to get it done. Just another one. I just don't fucking care. But apparently the coin doesn't work on dude fights, or I would totally flip one. But yeah, give me Hugo.
Lewis.
So, Falcao won on the Contender Series a couple of years ago. You knew that, right?
I heard.
He won in the opener. Do you know who won in the main event that night?
I forgot.
Johnny motherfucking Parsons.
That's right.
Won in the main, clear split decision victory over Solomon Renfro. That same night. Clear unanimous split decision victory.
Unanimous split.
I got nothing here. I haven't taped it. Based on names, I'm going with Falcao.
I like that.
I do like that Hugo's picture is like, I feel like you look the full picture, isn't like a dude behind him that's like unconscious?
Probably.
I have a lot of respect for that as your Tapology picture. Like,
Hugo. Yeah.
Like way more than like Mr. Finland's picture.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know. It's a close one. But yeah,
Finland's just trying to be a pimp. Hugo's like, I fucked this dude up. Like, it's great. Like, it's pretty funny.
And Hugo does fuck some dudes up, and he has some pretty wicked knee bars, including on the Contenders here. So we'll see how that fight goes. Norma Dumont and Jermaine Durandamy. We're back to a very strange fight for me. I don't know what Jermaine Durandamy is going to look like 4 years later after choking out Juliana. But there's no more USADA. Jermaine seems like the type of gal who would take advantage of that loophole in things. So I could see her showing up looking much, much better. And Norma, most likely should win this fight, though. Like, honestly, like should be more active, should be in a better rhythm. I think that standing, she throws more. Jermaine is powerful, but she doesn't throw a lot. And I don't know, but I don't like Norma's defense. I don't like that Norma's been knocked out by fighters like Megan Anderson so emphatically. I think this could be a levels fight, even though Jermaine is 42. Like, or I don't really care. Like, especially in the women or 39, whatever age she is, she looks like she's 50. So like I don't know what she says she's 39. Who knows what it means? She hasn't been around for 4 years. But all that being said, give me another women dog. Give me Jermaine Durand to me. Probably wins the decision, but she could knock her out too. Lou?
Yeah, I can't bet Norma. I just did the DraftKings show at this fight. It's like Norma is the one fighter you have to fade. She has no way to pay off her salary. She has no finishing equity. She lost a lot of her dumper too, according to like these training videos I've seen. That was her best thing.
That's a shame. Yeah, this is at 135 too. Exactly. Good point.
You have no idea how much that breaks my heart to hear. I'm sorry to cut you off, but God,
the Iron Sheik would tell you it's the bullshit. So, like, solely capping on that, I'm going on Duranamy. Also, like, I know, like, forget about the time off. Duranamy is just way better. Like, she's way better. Like, way more skilled on the feet, way more diverse in her strikes. There's going to be no grappling here. And even if it's cage push, I'm not sure Norma's stronger than her. So I like GDR here. I won't bet it because I don't bet these kind of fights because, like, I don't want to be aggravated.
Okay.
Not at this price. I mean, she's not like plus 200 or anything. Like, the line's not like wide enough for me to be like, okay.
No, it's at plus 130 right now. That's fair.
I mean, over. I like the over.
Yeah, I agree. I like the over.
Minus 900 probably.
Yeah, minus 1 million. But Jermaine, I got at plus 145. It's a minus 315. 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Juan, dude. Because this was going to be a coin fight, but I am biased in this one. Norma Dumont has the craziest dumper in the UFC, but hearing that it has shrunk and that she's tried to, like, I don't know if it was intentional, but nah, dude, homie, don't play that shit. So, and I'm a little biased towards the Iron Lady. She is one of my favorite female fighters. I hate the age and the layoff and the fact that she had a kid, but I still think she's the more dangerous striker, and I do think she knocks Norma out, or at least buzzes her, wins a decision. It's enough of like I'm not sure who's going to win, I guess, to use the coin, but it's a little bit too high of a level, I think, overall. So yeah, I think I'm just going to pick Jermaine outright. I'm not betting it, but her as an underdog just feels a little too good not to pick. So best of luck to whoever bets this one. But yeah, give me the Iron Lady to make a nasty return.
Plus 130. I know you said you love the over, but like, I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe playing the under here. And just because, for one, Jermaine definitely has ways she can finish the fight. And she might just get in there, just kind of get worked by Norma and be like, I don't want to really be in here, and just turn and give her back at some point. Just like, I'm out. Like, we don't know how much fight she has at 39 years old with a kid. And if Norma really comes into this fight motivated and in good shape to get to 135.
Right.
Crazy there. Like, it's plus 230.
Yeah, no, I get that. I could see
a little sprinkle.
Right.
Sprinkle. All right. I'm going to sprinkle the under 2.5 here because I'm stupid. So, fuck it. Don't worry. Juan, this is funny. Yeah, Walter. We'll talk about Walter. Oh, boy, we will talk about Walter very soon. But next, we have another combined age of over 70 fight. We have Alex Morono, who has to be the oldest 33-year-old in the UFC. And if you have an older 33-year-old, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Against has to be the oldest 39-year-old in the UFC. And if you have an older 39-year-old, go ahead and let me know in the comments. In Court McGee here. This fight, I don't want anything to do with from a betting perspective, like so much of this card, but it's one that I do feel that Alex Morono's biggest issue, I feel like, is his durability. And he's facing a guy who hasn't gotten a finish in, 15 years now? When's the last time Court McGee got a finish? 15 years ago? What up, Brian?
A long time.
It's literally been like 14 or 15 years ago. And he's coming off 2 straight brutal knockouts. The knockout he had against Matt Brown was both sad and brutal. Matt Brown was 41, 42, 43 years old for that fight. Also was a plus 190 underdog. Me and 2 cents hit on that one. I do remember that specifically. So thank you very much. Yeah, I'm trying to find the way that Court McGee wins this fight. I get it. He can grind out a decision. That's what he does against everybody, but he's not going to do that against Alex Morono here. Probably not. Probably gets dropped again and finished by Morono, I would think, or maybe it goes to a decision. We all have to be tortured for 15 minutes. I've talked about this fight too much. Morono is the side because I'm not siding with Court McGee. Sorry. 2 cents.
Yeah, I got to go with Morono. He's the dude that I usually look to fade, but McGee is just not the power puncher that it usually takes to get Morono up out of there. And I feel like that's kind of his fatal flaw. Morono is the more skilled fighter. He's the more dangerous fighter. I think he's the much better jiu-jitsu practitioner. I think he has all the finishing upside in this fight. If he does get fucking chin checked by Court McGee, you said it, dude. Court McGee ain't got a knockout in at least 10 years. That is a bad.
It's at least 13, 14 years.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, Morono does not have a good chin, but I don't think McGee is the one to really fucking check it. So yeah, give me Morono maybe by finish, club and sub maybe. Because McGee, if anyone's chin is not great recently, it's probably Court McGee.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, he got knocked out by Ponzinibbio too. So I don't know, man. Yeah, give me Morono. He's not I don't usually look to back him I feel weird that I'm this confident in Morono, but he should get it done here, in my opinion.
Lou, what's your thoughts on the senior citizen fight of the night?
I started laughing because as soon as he said Court McGee, when's the last time you got to finish? All I'm thinking in my head is Bobby Newport never had a real job. Bobby Newport. You know what that's from, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bobby Newport. Morono's going to fuck him up, man. Court McGee, look, man, we've seen this so many times. This sucks. And I like Morono, by the way. I sneakily, he's one of my favorite dudes. He's a grinder, man. He'll take any fight on short notice. Dude's pretty tough. I think he's underrated skills. Great White's a horrible nickname. But
not great, Bob.
The mediocre White. But you've seen it with McGee, where once that durability went, it's like a running back in the NFL, man. Once it goes, it's gone. There's no slow decline. It's done. And it's done right now. And now he's getting touched and getting hurt. Matt Brown should not be knocking you out. And dude, it's my guy.
And it was a scary knockout too for Court. There's a reason
he's got his hands down and he just can't take a shot. And dude, Morono hits pretty hard. 2 cents brought up a cool sneaky submission or the club and sub. I think it's there. But man, it might get to the point where as much as I think that could happen, it might be McGee just reacts badly and does a crumple down. And they immediately call it. He may just look horrible hitting the ground. I think maybe it's just the durability's gone.
Yeah, it is. I agree 100%. There's and the threat from the other end hasn't been there for a decade.
And I on this show, I believe, bet Means against Morono and looked really good. And then he got caught. Dude, Morono is that guy, man. The only third round I think he ever looked bad on was was it Ponzinibbio? What was the fight? He was up 2-0. That was a short notice fight, and the gas tank just went. Mm-hmm. But other than that, dude, Morono's a dude that can catch subs in third, like pretty good cardio, like pretty good durability typically. Like I like Morono a lot, man. Like it's just a good, I think it's just kind of like an underrated, never going to be a contender. He's an all right guy, but he's like a relic. But he's like a relic of like the cool era, you know?
Yeah, he's more of an action fighter to me, whereas like if anyone is the jabroni out of these two, I think it's probably McGee. Like one of his best attributes used to be his fucking durability, and that's starting to go now. So it's like
yeah, like so what does he have? Without durability, now he's just like, it's not like he's like, oh look, he's that tough guy that almost died. Now
the wrestling that he doesn't do anything with. Just
now he's
like
the guy that almost died that dies every fight.
Right. Now he dies
now
every
he's that
fight.
guy. He's
Not almost dying, he's dying.
Right.
Yeah, and Morono only minus 305. So like this is a tough card. So when I'm looking for Zhongli candidates, maybe I do consider adding a Morono there. Minus 305 plus 245 on court. I'm not sure why what people are seeing in court, but to each their own. Obviously, with this one, the in the under 2.5 is plus 105. So they're expecting a finish. It's not coming from Court McGee.
It's a stupid line. Like it's such a stupid line here. Like because of that.
Yeah, that's just dumb. All right, I'm gonna move on. That fight sucks, but that's okay.
If something weird does happen, like I'm not gonna say it's rigged, but like that's a featured
prelim. That's funny.
Well, now we got to fight. Dude.
We got a burner of Barnes, and we've got a lot of money coming in on Trevor Peek. So you know what that means? I'm on the other side because every time Trevor Peek fights, unless he's fighting a bum like he did last time, I'm not picking Trevor Peek. And Charlie Campbell is going to hurt Trevor Peek a lot, put him away inside of 2 rounds. This is a levels fight. Trevor Peek is going to get rudely introduced to Charlie Campbell in this fight. I don't get the love on Trevor Peek at all this week. So give me Campbell. What he did to Duncan should have been a win. Fuck Duncan. Fuck Chris Duncan. Absolutely. But, Peek is not winning this fight. So,
how dare you, sir? How dare you?
Lou?
I had a feeling 2 cents would be on the Peek side here. Somebody in the last show asked me what I thought about Peek. I forget whoever his coach is got either pop with PEDs or something with PEDs involving Peek's camp, not Peek himself, but like his camp. And I'm like, dude, Peek's PED is like bacon, and like PEDs don't give you technique. Like he doesn't have technique. He's just a fucking dude throwing like hammers and windmills. And this is not a criticism. PEDs doesn't help you when that's your fighting style. Like it doesn't, and it doesn't help his cardio because the dude's just crazy tough. It doesn't matter. Like PEDs are not a thing that would make Peek better.
No,
at all. What I worry about here on the Peek side, so I'm on with you. I'm with Charlie Campbell.
Good.
What I worry about on the Peek side, because people that like Peek are like, oh, well, Campbell got chinned by Duncan. Look, man, Chris Duncan is so much better than both these guys. And I know Campbell's having success. Chris Duncan and I know he just got killed by Torres. I get it. Chris Duncan is just technically so much better than either one of these guys. Okay? He is. It's just a matter of fact. He's well-rounded. He's a better fighter. The last fight that Peek had in Abu Dhabi when Nurmal was in his corner or wherever the hell that fight was, he showed this like patient, reserved, not going for broke style. And didn't we just see this with Johnny Walker where it's like, you know what I'm going to do? Not be a psycho. And now Johnny Walker is like the fucking worst. And he's horrible to watch.
Mm-hmm.
If Peek's taking the one thing that kind of makes Trevor Peek, then what are we doing here with him? Like, if he's not going to come out guns a-blazing and fight like a fucking psychopath, then what is he? Campbell is at least pretty well-rounded. Like, you know, do you worry about his durability? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Like, getting bonked, like, okay, it sucked. But that's just one fight. Like, I kind of think, I mean, Campbell wins this fight at such a high clip here. The line is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you like Peak, I don't think Peak's drawing dead to a round 1 KO. But Peak is drawing dead to a random kill shot. Like, it's that simple. So I think Campbell decisions sneaky, because I think if Campbell wins the first 2 rounds, I think he's just doesn't need to get involved in a firefight at that point. Maybe get a takedown, dude. Just stay out of fucking harm's way at that point. Get your first UFC win. I think Campbell decisions really sneaky. By the way, the over 1.5 is plus 130. Also a very sneaky play, as I feel like that correlates very highly with a Campbell win.
Okay.
Plus 130 for the over, not bad. Unless you think Campbell round 1, I think plus 130 is kind of off.
Yeah, I mean, I was originally thinking Campbell by KO, but I can be talked into an overplay.
Well, even fight starts round 2 is probably going to be even money. Like, I don't think Campbell wins round 1 against him.
Yeah, that's fair. 2 cents.
Oh my fucking God. Don't worry. I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do and just pick Trevor Peek because I'm white and Southern and kind of rednecky. But nah, man, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pick Charlie Campbell, but I am not so sure that he doesn't just get fucking starched. I don't feel super confident in either side here. The coin does not work on dude fights. I've realized that, so it has no power here. So I'm picking Charlie Campbell. That was when they first announced this fight, that was my original just like knee jerk gut reaction. But I'll tell you what, dude, if you really start to look at it, who has fucking Charlie Campbell really beaten? Fucking nobody, dude. And everyone just seems to suck his fucking dick, man. This is really the MMA Twitter fight. And I swear to God, like, I really do think the Charlie Campbell thing is a lot of people were probably hammered him against Chris Duncan and got seriously fucking bottom hurt, because I've never seen so much like, oh, dude, you don't understand how good Charlie Campbell is, dude. If he hadn't got knocked out, he almost dude, don't be shocked if Trevor Peek starches this motherfucker. I think he's a hype job. I think he's a can crusher. But yeah, Trevor Peek is a bobo, and his technique is absolutely horrendous. But he could starch Charlie Campbell, because Charlie Campbell gets in fights with dudes like this. He just does. He likes to go in there and brawl and be he's a fucking East Coast big tough guy. So yeah, if you want to have a fucking tough guy fucking gravel scratching with Trevor Peek, he's your Huckleberry. I think Campbell's the more skilled fighter. He's the pick, but dude, don't say I didn't warn you if Trevor Peek fucking hauls off and just uncorks a fight ender on a guy that might be the less durable of the two. So that's my 2 cents on it. But yeah, I'm going to pick Campbell. That's all I got.
All right. Good takes here. Some booze from 2 cents and tomatoes from Justin. Yeah, my plus 145 to Trevor, minus 175 to Charlie. So the money has come in on Mr. Peek. I still like the Charlie side. Maybe I'm part of the hype job. Who knows? But move on to the next fight. The time has come. Lucas Brzezinski versus Walter Ignacio Walter, the Russian wrestler, brother of Johnny Walker, who used to be a stand-up guy, but his stand-up is ass. Yeah, this fight is terrible. This is one of the worst fights on the card. Lucas has not great takedown defense, and that's a problem, I think, in this fight. Walker kind of showed in his last fight against Nicholson. He's going to go for the takedowns and go for the takedowns. Use his much larger size. He's going to be the bigger guy here. Lucas has had PED issues in the past, and there's no more USADA. So I'm curious if he comes in at like 245, maybe 250. But honestly, Walter, I'm not really interested in siding with him either. But I feel like they set him up in a fight here where it's pretty well matched up against a guy with zero takedown defense. So Walter probably just goes for takedowns, and maybe Lucas decides to quit somewhere in the second or third round. TKO win for Walter, but I'm not betting it. But I'll take Walter. I couldn't get there on the Lucas side. Lou. Or 2 cents, I should say. Sorry, Lou.
So it's fine. It's fine.
You got to hold on to talk about this great fight.
Hey, God, can this one fall off? If I have to make a
It can
pick,
fall off, I believe.
dude, Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother, Walter Ignacio, whatever the fuck.
Who looks nothing like Johnny Walker.
Why, man? What is it with all these like random Brazilian names? They just will not pick one to go with consistently, and they'll go back and forth, just switch it out. It'll be Ignacio one time, now it's Walker, now it's just I don't know. Anyways, he's horrific on the feet, dude. His striking is really, really fucking bad. It wouldn't surprise me if Lucas Bresky knocked him out. I just cannot pick Bresky. I feel like what Walter's going to do is he's going to try and be a fucking big lug on the feet. He's just going to lumber forward. Bresky might crack him with a few, and then he just grabs a hold of him and gets him to the ground. He does have a good top control game, and I think he probably just lays on him and just kind of fat boy smashes him a little bit. But yeah, I just don't give a fuck. I'm definitely not getting involved. I don't hate anyone taking a shot on Bresky or Dresky or whatever the fuck ski. I think he is the more fleet of foot and probably the better striker technique wise. It wouldn't surprise me if he got like insta killed, I guess, but Walter, he is not good. And it will not take a higher level than Lucas to fucking obliterate him. But I don't know with this one, man. I'll take Walker, but again, just nothing for me. Very, very sketchy lean.
Yep, 100% agree with that. Lou, any thoughts on Walter and Lucas Brzezinski?
Yeah, don't bet this fucking fight.
Thank you.
Highest salary on the slate on DFS is Walter Walker.
Gross.
Say it to the people in the back, and because you're shouting from across the room.
Yeah, because I'm known to be a quiet human being.
Yes.
Walter Walker has never had a real job, and because fighting is not a real job. This guy is awful. He has like giantism in his like head. I have nothing nice to say about him, so I'm gonna pick Bresky just because of that. Next,
Bresky can't wrestle. Walker can't strike.
but Bresky, the thing that's going for Bresky is that his name isn't Walter Walker.
That is a good point.
And that's how I cap.
That's good capping. Thank you. From the desk of Lou.
I'll be right over.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. We're moving on to the next fight. Minus, what is he? Minus 270 to Walter. So somebody's coming on Lucas with all those sharps. Plus Brzezinski. Congratulations if you get money from this fight.
I'm sure Luke would have dropped a bomb on one of them.
Oh, yes. On Walter, I hope.
Yeah. Always an edge.
Yes, there's an edge. Ignacio Bahamondes, Christos Giagos. I think this is honestly one of the kind of sneakier, more competitive fights on the card, possibly. For one, Ignacio just, finds ways to have fights that are more competitive than they should be with guys where he has a massive reach advantage. He's got a lot of fun things to him, but he also, like, one of his number one attributes is his toughness. And I think against a guy like Giagos early, he can tag him and possibly put him down. Had Zellhuber in some good trouble in that fight. And to me, I think Ignacio Bahamondes is a worse Zellhuber. And another thing is about if Giagos forces the wrestling in this spot, I could see Bahamondes leaving his head kind of irresponsibly, his neck out there. He's got a real long neck. Giagos has a real slick Darce choke. But either guy could get choked in this fight, I'll be honest. But I just think it's way closer than these odds indicate here. Giagos has faced a very high level of competition and had decent success at times against them. Like, even back at like the Charles Oliveira fight back in the day, he had really good success in that fight before he didn't. But no more USADA. I know I mentioned that a lot, but I think it is relevant for a guy who's 34 and looking to fight for his job. or, relevance at least. Maybe he still has a job after this fight, but definitely relevance. I mean, with the line where it's at, I think the only option here is Giagos plus 270. I don't understand it, and I don't agree with it. So thinking about betting it, I think Giagos has finishing capability on either side for sure here. If it goes, the longer it goes, the more it probably goes to Ignacio as it goes, though. But I mean, I just think it's a lot closer. So give me Giagos to touch him up and then force the wrestling a little bit and get a hold of the neck and submit him. I got Giagos by sub. Lou.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, Giagos. I am with you on this. I think Bahamundis is kind of a fraud. I think the two guys that have pressured him in the UFC were Ludovic Klein and John McDessie, and he didn't like it, and he fought off his back foot. He didn't really respond well. I think he's a front runner. Excuse me. I think he's a front runner, beating Brady's favorite fighter on the roster, Rong Zhu. Not super impressive.
No.
Beating Roosevelt Roberts. Not super impressive. The Trey Ogden fight was super close. Yeah, I know Ogden just looked like a goddamn world beater against Halaba. That was his best fight ever. But Bahamundis should have gone in there and absolutely starched Ogden, just been in his face, and he wasn't. The one thing you could say about Giagos, like, yeah, he fades, and he fades pretty fast, but dude's going to pressure Bahamundis in round one. Absolutely going to be in his face, dirty boxing, closing the range, and making this fight, like, really uncomfortable for Bahamundis. I know Giagos fades, but what if Giagos hurts Bahamundis early and, like, compromises him? What if Bahamundis just doesn't like the pressure and he just kind of doesn't do a whole hell of a lot as the fight goes on? I think this line's crazy wide. I actually like the idea, if you don't think Bahamundis can finish Giagos, and I really do think Bahamundis he really is kind of a fraud, especially like finishing wise. Giagos plus 3.5 might be a nice play. I didn't look at the odds, but it's probably plus money. I like Giagos here, man. I'm with you.
No.
Great, crazy number. And I don't like Giagos at like plus 150. I just think he wins the first round at such a high clip. How do you give me an underdog like this against a guy who I don't think will finish him?
No, I agree. And I just want to mention this real quick on the submission. The submission price is at plus 1,200 right now. And I don't really understand that price in this spot because I don't think that Ignacio is this world beater with regards to grappling. And Giagos taking Polaris fights, I believe, or definitely doing some pro grappling as well. And there, he's clearly been working on his grappling. And we haven't seen him post USADA. And if one of these guys is going to benefit more from no USADA, it's going to be Christos Giagos. Going to be a lot stronger too. I think he can get Bahamundis down as well. So just my 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one? Are you on the plus 270 dog? Giagos?
God damn, dude. Y'all are just going to make me be the bad guy, make me look like the fucking
Square
asshole.
Yep. Go ahead, Square.
I'm gonna have to fucking hit you with it, dude. I don't, man. Well, let me preface it with this. I am not hammering Bahamundis. I'm not parlaying Bahamundis. I do think it is a little wide. I don't think it's super duper wide, and I get why he's the favorite. Everything you said is true about he's a good. Giagos comes out of the gate and fights very well in the first round. And Bahamundis is, has not fought the craziest level of competition. And I do think that it was a bad look for him to get tuned by McDessie like that, albeit it was his debut, but still, like, and Bahamundis is, I do like, whoever was that Lou that said he's a lesser, or was that Aaron that said he's a lesser Zellhuber? Whoever said that, I completely agree. But he still got the reach. He still got the activity, and Giagos to me is consistently like a 1-round fighter. So while I don't think that Ignacio is going to knock him out, I do think that he loses the third round, certainly at a pretty fucking good clip. And I think he'll lose the second one too, just by kind of getting tuned a little bit. But the reason I'm not betting him, Ignacio marks up really easily his face, cuts and bruises, and swells up pretty bad. So yeah, if you're if you're betting Yagos, like you're hoping he fucking lands a couple big ones and fucks his face up and kind of paints him a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Bahamondes. It's not like I would have liked it at like minus 250 or something. I don't know if it was ever like that, but that's what it feels like. Like that's if I had to line it, be like Bahamondes minus 250, Yagos like plus 190 or something. At plus 270, hey. Like it's like that Snoop Dogg gif. I get it. I don't agree. I don't co-sign, but I get it.
Yeah, I'm taking a shot on the plus 1200 sub number. I don't care. I'm taking a shot on it. So we'll see if that's a throwaway bet. But either way, yeah, interesting fight. And I think a lot closer than the odds indicate. Third from the top, 145, Morgan Charrier, Chepe Mariscal. What is this? Yeah. United States out of Denver now in Chepe. Morgan out of France, trained with Taylor Lapoulet. Has had a lot of close fights with some good guys as he was in Cage Warriors. Has had some split decisions along the way. Against Zucchini, we'll talk about with Lou here or Zaccarini. His defense looked good, and then the kicks to the body were brutal, and just wore down his opponent. There's levels to this, and for me, I'm not a big Chepe Mariscal guy. I do think he's tough, but he gets into a lot of takes a lot of unnecessary damage, and I do think Morgan is a skilled enough striker to where he could finish him early on in this fight. Would not surprise me. As the fight goes, I do think Chepe gets more and more favored, though. If this gets into a dog fight, third round, I do think that Morgan will let this get away, and Chepe takes the decision. So, it's not super confident here, but I am going to go with Morgan's side. But I mostly just don't like Chepe. So give me Morgan by KO here. Real technical breakdown, but I'm always honest. Lou. Or I don't know.
I don't really have like a great read on this fight because I feel like when I taped Charrier the first time, I thought this is a dude that fights pretty close margins on the regionals. Mm-hmm. Like he's flashy, he's good, he's pretty, and he's very durable. But he doesn't throw like a ton. And then Chepe, like, are we overcapping him based on a win against Trevor Peek and a win where Jack Jenkins, who I think is a fucking bum, won the first round and then it's fluky in the sense how he got hurt, but it's not fluky in the sense that Mariscal was starting to take over that round. Mm-hmm. But again, are we overcapping him? Like for beating Peek, who like stinks, and for beating Jack Jenkins, who stinks. Like I think Charrier is certainly more well-rounded and has fought way better guys than either one of them. So I kind of feel like we're getting Charrier at like a decent price for a guy who's going to throw more volume, who's durable. If he can defend some takedowns, I think he pulls away with this one quite easily. But I really don't have like a great. Like if you're on the Chepe side, like I get it. It's hard for me to get there at this price. And even the bookmakers don't really know. Like it's tight.
Yeah, so, it seems everybody is betting on Chepe.
But again, like what's your opinion? Like, do you think people are just kind of overcapping him because he's 2-0 in the UFC against this is the best guy he's faced in a long time, not in his life. He's fought very good people on the regionals.
He just always fucking loses to him badly. Right. He's smoked.
I think that's by the way, that is a great point that people say all the time. They're like, oh man, he's fought great strength of schedule. It's like, yeah, but they all killed him.
Right.
So like
crush him. Like Steve Garcia obliterated him. Sean Soriano beat that motherfucker.
Did you see what Brito did to him?
He murdered him. Like I've played. And
he was just like closing his eyes, striking. Like it's just I'm not a Chepe guy. Sorry.
I've played the best guys, the most elite dart shooters in Philadelphia, which is a hotbed in the United States. They have all absolutely fucking massacred me. Does that make me good? No, I just was in the bar when they played. Like, it doesn't make me like, cool. I was next. Like,
Right.
it doesn't mean I'm good. I just
Right.
got to play them. Chepe was just the dude that was in the ring to my left for a lot of these guys on their ascent. Like, he's not horrible. I'm not like saying, I don't think he's a bum, but he's kind of just And I think Charrier can, land a lot more shots. Optics will be better for him for sure. The third round might be dicey, but I'm gonna say Charrier wins the first 2 rounds and just wins the 29-28 here.
Yep. And good point here. Wow, Noah's breaking news here. But just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I really didn't know who I was going to pick in this one. I saw the matchup without looking at the line, and I was like, okay, well, I think I cashed on Chari. I think I parlayed him and hit a nice one with him. He might have been anchoring the parlay, and I was a little bit nervous because of that, but he got the finish, so obviously that's awesome. But yeah, to Lou's point, I do think that Chepe is being a little overvalued. I think Chari is way better than Jenkins and Peak. And it's the style, not just like the skills, but it's like the striking acumen and like the fact that Chari is a good counter striker and Chepe gets countered. Like that's how he's getting knocked out in these KO. He's been knocked out 3 times. I think Morgan Chari actually knocks him out. I think he's a sharp and really fast striker. Mariscal has been kind of Chepeing my ass a little bit, so maybe I'm just kind of like salty and wanting some get back, and I'm just like now I'm kind of like just want him to lose, so maybe I'm baking a little bit of that into my my read here. But yeah, I think Charrier, I think Chepe is tough, but he's also been chinned a few times. It's not like he's some fucking unstoppable dude. And yeah, I think Charrier is a little bit nicer of a striker than the last 2 dudes he's faced, and I think he gives him KO loss number 4.
-115 to Charrier, -105 Chepe. So nearly a pick 'em here. So should be a good one.
Yeah, a bunch of money came out. Like Charrier was like -170, -190.
Yeah.
And it closed real quick.
Aaron, here's my question for you. Does Steve Harvey think it's a good one?
I hope so.
Well, you never seen Family Feud. He thinks everyone's going to be a good one. We got a good
one today. This is a good one. We got a good one.
Come on, bro.
Sorry. I'm sorry it wasn't ready for the Steve Harvey reference.
Aaron, who would you rather bone? Meg Ryan or Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson now or 1975?
Jack Nicholson.
73.
Meg Ryan.
I was ready for that one. All right, co-main event time. Battle of Texas MMA prospects here who have made it to the UFC. Alex Hernandez staying at 145 for some reason, taking on Damon Jackson with his new hair transplant, which I definitely want Lou's thoughts on. Lou disapprove. I assume that, but it's a very nice hair transplant. He must have went to Turkey for it. But either way, Damon Jackson, I do favor in this matchup after that first kind of barrage of the first round. If he can survive that and not leave his chin up in the air to get touched, I do think that as the fight goes on, Damon Jackson has the advantage. I think he can pressure Alex Hernandez, put him on his back foot, get the cardio working. His last fight against Quarantillo, I thought I scored it for Damon Jackson personally. I don't know how it was unanimous for Billy, but either way, like it was a closer fight than I think that indicates. Obviously, with Damon Jackson, you always have to worry about him getting absolutely obliterated with his chin. It's happened, I think, 4 times now, pretty hard. Alex Hernandez certainly could do that, but I do think that Damon Jackson can kind of keep him at a distance and wear him down as the fight goes. Maybe get the fight into the grappling at times when he needs to. At +170, I thought Damon Jackson was well worth taking a shot at. I think he has finishing upside for sure. I do worry about his volume over 15 minutes. I think that could be a problem in winning a decision. But I think that, and I think he won against Billy Q. I get that Billy Q lost to Zahal now, but I think Hernandez is a bum. and especially at 145, I do not think it does him any favors. So I like Damon Jackson at plus 170 here. 2 cents.
Another one where I get it, dude. Like I understand the fate on Hernandez. I just think he knocks Jackson out in the first round. Jackson, I don't trust his chin. Hernandez is a front runner for sure. He is a 1-round fighter, but in that first round, I've been watching the dude since he first got to the UFC. And in the first round, he cracks just about everybody at least once. And I don't trust that Jackson is going to be able to eat it. Now, yes, as the fight goes, you have to favor Damon, probably to get a sub, honestly. But yeah, another one. I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting invested at all. But yeah, give me Hernandez by first round KO.
Fair
with
enough.
a lot of trepidation.
Lou.
Yeah, let's talk about this hair because this is, I mean, what's he doing?
It looks good.
But why?
You can't do that.
He had a weird head.
What?
He had a weird head.
So anytime he fights, I must mention the story of how I was so drunk that I thought it was not this guy fighting Bektic, and I bet a ton of money on him, literally thinking he was a different guy. And this white bald dude walks out, and I'm like, fuck, dude. And then he's getting killed, and then he wins, and I'm like, never in doubt. Like,
it was Jason Jackson?
I thought he was a black guy, man.
You thought it was Jason Jackson from Bellator?
I thought it was not a balding white guy, is what I thought.
Well, Damon Jackson is that. Well,
look, alcohol's a hell of a drug. I didn't know who the fuck it was. But anyway, win's a win. When I try to cap a fight, I can't buy a win. But when I win, but I would bet like that, it's like, this is easy.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Here's the problem I have here. Forget about the hair, which is awful. Alex Hernandez is just such a mental midget when it comes to fighting that like to 2 cents point, I think he wins round 1 KO at a decently high clip, especially if Jackson doesn't initiate wrestling. What happens if he doesn't? Then it's like the Jim Miller fight. I'm kind of surprised Jim Miller didn't I feel like Jim Miller had a bad night because I think that Hernandez can serve, but Miller wasn't super aggressive.
Yeah, I lost money that night on Jim Miller.
I did too. But and I wasn't upset with the decision. I was more upset that and dude, to Hernandez's credit, his cardio looked really good. Third round, he looked okay.
That was at what weight?
155.
Exactly. This is at what?
145.
Thank you.
So I just think that I don't love Damon Jackson's cardio.
It's way better than Hernandez at this weight.
But
his cardio's better, but he kind of fights like a fucking dumbass too sometimes. He tries to fucking go to war with way better strikers. I'm not saying Hernandez is that, but he's kind of a dumbass on the feet.
Let me rephrase why I would bet Jackson here. If this thing hits the third round, what ticket do you feel more comfortable with? Who's going to fight? Who's going to fight for your money more? I don't think 2 cents can dispute that.
Oh, no, definitely not. Jackson has way more heart and is way I think he does have the better cardio of the two.
They both know that too.
So if you think that's the case, Damon Jackson would appear to be a decent live bet here after 1.
Fair enough. Yeah,
absolutely.
In fact, if you like Hernandez, you could take him round 1 KO or Hernandez in under 1.5. And then you could
probably the best way to play Hernandez.
You could pivot out of it. So, but this is the last fight I care about on this card.
You wicked fucking smack.
So I got to go. No, I'm just kidding. I'll stick around for the main event.
Yeah, plus 164 on Jackson, minus 198 on Alex. So a little bit of money starting to come out.
Don't be shocked if this fight ends in a draw either. Hernandez could 10-8 him. And then completely have nothing left for the next 2 rounds, and Jackson might just abuse him. Could be a weird draw.
I agree. Draw or split. Definitely live here. So, all right, main event time. 5 rounds. Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis 2. First time around, Chris Curtis got the knockout on very short notice over Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen definitely has been in some wars over his career, but definitely has turned it around. 6 straight wins, 5 of them by submission. Chris Curtis has extremely good takedown defense himself, typically, especially in the UFC. He's been submitted one time in his 40 fights, so could be more difficult. Also, the level of guys that Brendan Allen's been beating, it's not been super impressive. So I think this is going to be a pretty, I mean, like, it's been decent, like, but, it's like he's dominating, like, Bruno Silva and getting a finish, beating Paul Craig, who is what he is at this point. I do think that kind of beating Curtis is, will be an interesting proving point for Brendan. If he goes in there and just tries to go to war with Curtis the whole time, I think that Curtis definitely could end up catching him again and putting him away. Would not surprise me at all. I think Curtis has the better boxing of the two of these guys. Brendan Allen probably throws more varied strikes and definitely has better grappling, but I don't know if he can get it there. I'm not betting this fight at all. And I'm not really sure. I guess I just feel like Brendan Allen's improved so much since this last fight, and just is at that trajectory. And I don't like listening to like pre-fight interviews and putting too much into them. But with this, I did watch both pre-fight interviews, and one thing I definitely noticed was Brendan Allen's like extremely respectful and like aware that like this is a dangerous fight and not taking it lightly at all. And with Chris Curtis, like he's talking about how he became a dad again and like his strength. He's like, oh, my strength and conditioning coach. And we had all talked and we agreed I wasn't going to take a fight. And then I just was like, why not? Threw it out the window and took the fight. So it really did feel like he was building in excuses before the fight of why this fight wasn't going to go the way it should for him. So I'm not going to like overblow that and say like, oh, because of this pre-fight interview, I'm going to go with Brendan Allen. But there's a lot of different reasons. I just feel like they're at different points in their careers at this point. I do think no two fights go the same. The second fight, I think, goes much better for Brendan Allen. I think it probably goes to decision. So I'll take Brendan Allen by decision here. I think he fights smart, gets the takedowns, kind of minds his P's and Q's as the fight goes later. But could be a war, and Curtis might just have his number like Noah says here. But I'll go with Brendan Allen by decision. Lou.
Friend of the channel, Chris Curtis. I'm gonna save most of my vitriol for tomorrow as I
right, that's fine.
As I nuke my own channel.
Sure, that's fine.
I don't want to nuke yours.
Thanks. I have no problem with Chris Curtis.
I don't know if people are watching know this. I am not a fan of Chris Curtis.
They better know that.
I'm also not really a fan of Brendan Allen.
Okay.
He's looked okay. I think now we just know that Bruno Silva fucking sucks.
Yes.
Like
confirmed.
I think he just confirmed sucks. I think the Malkoun win, which look, I had a bet on Malkoun decision in that fight. He didn't do a ton in that fight, but I actually liked that fight for him, and that he's like, I'm just gonna play this guy's game and do it better. Mm-hmm. But that's the same mentality that got his ass knocked out by Chris Curtis. I'm just gonna play his game.
Yep.
Brendan Allen for years has been that guy where it's like,
what
are you doing? Why are you not shooting? Or why are you shooting? Like everything he does is counterintuitive to like anybody that's a rookie watching the sport as to what the guy should do to exploit a weakness. So my question here is, does Allen go out and try to prove a point and be like, no, I'm just going to outbox him again? Like, does he just play right into what Curtis wants? Because what does Chris Curtis want? A low volume. He wants a low volume one.
Yep.
He just wants to stand there. Like that Barrialt fight that people were booing. Dude, that's what he wants. That's what he wants every fight. He doesn't want a guy kicking him like Hermanson. He's like, oh my God, this is terrible. This is dumb. This guy fights like an asshole. Oh, he's not boxing me. Like,
this is not fun.
He's like, no. So Brendan Allen is not really a dude that throws a ton of kicks. I think he's either going to try to box Curtis or he's going to go for takedowns. And, look, to Curtis's credit, his takedown defense is decent. Like, I think it's overblown because he had like 20 stops against Vieira, who was shooting from left field.
Yeah.
But I think Allen's takedowns his wrestling is good, but his entries kind of suck. Like, I think if he got Curtis down, I think he could hold him down for minutes. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like his entries, and I think Curtis is just going to read it and like shove him off, and it's going to be a boxing match. And if it's going to be a boxing match, I got to favor the one-dimensional asshole who boxes. Now, I'm going to tell you from a betting perspective, I'm betting Chris Curtis because I know that I'm mushing him. So if I bet $50 on Chris Curtis and he wins, cool, I won money. But if he loses, it's the best goddamn $50 I ever spent in my life.
That's good
stuff. And I will be like so happy.
I respect that. I've got no dollars on this fight. So
yeah, that's a fucked up hedge out, but I respect that. I respect the game. Like
I'm mushing him.
That's dark and twisted, but that's my kind of fucking.
And to end it, as the Iron Sheik would say, fuck the Chris Curtis.
And if he wins, then great. That's awesome. Great job, Lou. 2 cents.
Yeah, that is some serious villain level vitriol, as he said. But I like it. I respect it. Respect the game for sure. First and foremost, right off the bat, a smart man passes. This is a fight that's pretty easy to break down from a stylistic standpoint and from a on paper or whatever. You can see kind of the trajectory of the two. I don't really think Chris Curtis's last fight was a good look against Barrio. I don't know, man. I think Brendan Allen is definitely trending in a different direction than Pau Bar, who I like Marc Andre, but to me this is a tough one because it's not really a on paper fight. Like you said, it's a rematch. Sometimes rematches go exactly the same way. So yes, like it won't surprise me at all if Chris Curtis knocks him out again. Brendan Allen is to do this consistently, like inconsistent with his fight IQ. Sometimes he fights to his strengths. Sometimes he likes to go in there and try and be a fucking big tough guy. But with this one, you would think that he would want to fight smarter. And it sounds like he's going to fight smarter, but I'm not betting it because it's just a fight where there's too many intangibles. You're depending on Brendan Allen's fight IQ, which is great. That's a sketchy thing. You're also depending on trajectory. Chris Curtis, yes, power's the last thing to go. He could chin check Brendan Allen again, but he is 36. Brendan Allen is what, 28, 29? Yep. So with every passing day, it goes more and more in Brendan Allen's favor, literally. And if Curtis isn't like focused and he's kind of just like, I've seen him do that before too, where he's just like, doesn't really take his opponent seriously. Like, oh, I'm just going to run through this dude. And like, look what Jack Hermanson did, made him look fucking stupid. So yeah, I think if Brendan Allen fights smart, he can win this. I'm going to pick Brendan Allen. I actually think if he gets him down, he could sub him. I think if he's going to try and make a point anywhere, it's that like, no, you might be the better striker, but I'm the better grappler. Yeah. If Brendan Allen gets on top of Chris Curtis, I think that's where he's going to try and like get his get back personally. So I'm going to pick Brendan Allen by submission, but it won't surprise me at all if Curtis just hauls off and knocks him the fuck out. Brendan Allen's fight IQ is not something that I would bet on. So a smart man passes on this fight and you just get greasy somewhere else. But yeah, the pick will be Brendan Allen for the show. But dude, I kind of just want to see what happens here. But man, why? This is sweaty, man. Like you're hoping on Chris Curtis to find the knockout again, which he, like you said, he can kind of be low volume and kind of just stand there and stare. And if Brendan Allen fights smart and doesn't go to the ground, this could be a snoozer, man. I don't know. It's a weird fight, and I just kind of want to see what happens.
If Brendan Allen subs Chris Curtis, I will like come all over my desk, dude. Sorry to be graphic, but like I'll go live stream right after that fight and be like, I'd be like, the whole video would be me going, like that's gonna be the whole video. I'll be like, this was the greatest event ever. It's just gonna be like my background will just be Chris Curtis tapping for the rest of my life. I don't care how many Twitter accounts get like nothing. I don't care at that point. I've won officially.
I mean, if Brendan tries to be a tough guy, he's just going to get fucking slumped again. I do believe that. Chris Curtis will always be the better boxer, and he just hits harder. And Brendan is stupider, but he is the better grappler. I would think that if he wanted to prove a point, it would be in that. But yeah, I can't bet Brendan Allen. He's just too inconsistent.
Yeah, Brendan Allen's not getting anything. No Zhang Li, nothing else. All right. Gonna do the Zhang Li. Gonna say goodbye after that. So I had talked about the Zhang Li at the beginning. I can do the safe Zhang Li or the dangerous one. Lou, should I go safe or dangerous?
I mean, I'm never.
What did you say? We're never what?
Never be safe, dude. It's the Zhang Li parlay. Zhang Li parlay, dude. He's like the James Bond of Zhang Li's. You go crazy.
Yeah, I don't disagree. 2 cents.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Heads, we go safe. Tails, we go crazy. The coin will speak.
All right.
And it fell off to the side, and it says heads safe.
Oh, we're going safe. All right. Well, I had the dangerous parlay up, but
I mean, you get two on one. The coin don't know shit about fucking.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore the coin here. We're going dangerous here.
Do it.
I got 2 dogs in this parlay, and we are starting off with. If you didn't think I'm starting off with Dylan Budka, you have not been paying attention. Dylan Budka is in the Zhang Li. Daniel Arguda is in there as well, and we're finishing off the the prelims with Alex Morono. I am putting Charlie Campbell in there. I do believe in him, so 2 cents you are going to have to get on to Charlie Campbell. And Damon Jackson finishes out the Zhang Li for a 21 even parlay right now. So actually 20.98 is the current price on the parlay. If you lock it in now for $20, go ahead. If not, good luck next week to you. Lou, what you got coming up the rest of the week?
Just the happy hour tomorrow. I did the DFS show right before this. If you guys played DFS, it's Monk, Brady, Gordo, and myself breaking down this card from a DFS perspective. So that's a little different kind of show. Next week, I'm going to be like all over the goddamn place. Hopefully here to start the week would be nice.
Absolutely.
It's Bo Nickel, Cody. I'm trying to get Cody Brundage. If he will follow the Desk of Lou on Twitter, hopefully I can get an interview with him and ask him how many times he plans on going for a guillotine against Bo Nickel.
Very good.
I just want to know if he's going to do it in the first round, so I know to bet Bo within 8 seconds or 3 minutes. Clint fucking bet Cody round 1. He's killing me, dude. He's fucking killing me. Dude, get off this train.
I don't care.
I know, but now I don't want Cody to win round 1.
I don't get it. I don't care. I don't care if he wins or loses fake money. I really don't care. If you want let's see. Who said? Juan said do both. If you want the boring, safe Zhang Li parlay, it's Budka, Morano, Campbell, Charrier, and Brendan Allen. So it is chalky chalk to get you to plus 900. So if you want to do that one, go ahead. That is the 2 Zhang Li's there. But yeah, Lou, you're always welcome here. We'll see you next week. I believe that I am working on having one other guest on, which would be Steve of the MMA Minute, one of my good buddies, really good dude in the space. I've been working with him for years now. If you want a quick, concise breakdown, just check out his breakdown on YouTube. It's like 20 minutes, really straight to the point, and he knows the shit. I respect the guy a lot. So hopefully we'll have him on as well next week, so we should have a good panel for next week. 2 cents, what you got the rest of the week?
So I will be back with the Pub Boys tomorrow, putting out a new episode of Locker Room Talk podcast, which is available for download anywhere. And then I will be back on my channel Saturday doing my pregame. So I will drop the link in the dome. And Lou, if you want it, just let the desk of Lou Bet You hit my people up and I'll make sure you get the link. But yeah, anybody that wants to, that knows me, come through, man. Just shooting the shit before the fights. And yeah, then I'll be back here next week. That's all I got. Y'all in the chat, man, make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron and subscribe to his channel. And best of luck, everyone. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks for having me again.
Yep, we just talked for 90 minutes about this card somehow. So that is more than this card ever deserved, more than I should have had. So thank you, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. Noah, Juan, Justin, Lua was in there. Some
Zhang Li.
guy. Zhang Li made an appearance. Shout out to Zhang, making us rich all year. Yeah, appreciate you, 2 cents. Appreciate you, Lou. See you next week for 300 with Steven MMA Minute. It's going to be a good show. See you next week. Peace.